I want to talk about how food, and particularly blood sugar, impact your mood. I get so many DMs all day long about anxiety, irritability, PMS, and the reality is that we can control so much of that, so much more than we think, when we eat in the proper way. So if you're somebody who is having something like a bagel or a donut or a muffin for breakfast, and you're not having any protein and fat to start to stabilize that, what it's gonna do is it's gonna cause a spike and then a crash in your blood sugar. And when you're eating only carbohydrates like that all day long, you'll experience those spikes and crashes all day long. So critical to stabilize your blood sugar because, like I said, those carbohydrates, they absorb the quickest in terms of the spike and crash in your blood sugar, while protein and fat take a lot longer to be able to be absorbed and impact blood sugar. And so that's why it's really critical to make sure that you're having protein and fat with every meal to avoid things like feeling hangry. This blood sugar stability is going to impact your sleep. It will impact brain fog, your ability to concentrate, and then the things that we already talked about, anxiety, depression, irritability. And so whether it's breakfast or a healthy lunch like the one that we just made, where you have things like chickpeas and peanuts and a dressing that has olive oil and a healthy fat in it, tons of fiber with all of the green and colorful veggies and the protein from the beans, that's gonna help to stabilize the blood sugar and make it so that there's not that quick spike and crash, but it's more like a slow ride over time so that your mood doesn't go up and down. You're able to focus, you're able to concentrate. And so we're gonna talk a little bit more about what you need to do to have that blood sugar be stable throughout the day and different supplements that you can take, all of the different things that you can really start to use to your advantage if you're experiencing any issues with your mood. What you're gonna wanna do is stay hydrated. So the thing about hydration is that it's going to help keep your blood sugar levels stable. You're gonna wanna stick to things like herbal teas, water with lemon, and just plain water. Avoiding things with too much caffeine and things like soda or juice with sugar, because those are gonna cause spikes to your blood sugar. Having enough water is also gonna help your kidneys to flush out excess toxins that can, in the long run, impact your mood and energy levels. Next thing is that you're gonna wanna eat foods that are low glycemic. So the glycemic index indicates how fast it's gonna make your blood sugar rise. And so foods that are typically lower carbohydrate, especially staying away from things that are processed for the most part, like white bread or white pasta, is gonna be really helpful for your blood sugar levels. You're gonna wanna eat foods like beans, leafy greens, wild caught fish, all of those different things that will help to keep your blood sugar level stable. So eating low glycemic, even if you're gonna have fruit, low glycemic fruit like berries, apples, grapefruit is so much better than high glycemic fruit like pineapple and mango. You wanna make sure that you have protein and fat at every single meal because that's gonna help to slow the digestive process. So healthy sources of protein are things like chicken, red meat, wild caught fish. You wanna make sure all of those things are either organic or wild caught. Eggs, nuts and seeds, beans, all of those things are really great sources of protein. And then you want to have a healthy fat with every meal, so things like olive oil, avocados, coconut. Again, nuts and seeds are also a form of healthy fat. Nut butters, great things to add to your meal. You want to avoid trans fat because trans fat has been linked to reducing insulin sensitivity. It causes free radical damage, which impairs insulin receptors. So making sure that you're avoiding trans fat. Trans fats are found in things like hydrogenated oils and processed and packaged foods like those cakes and cookies and cupcakes that are all packaged. So avoiding trans fats is really important. Then you're gonna wanna increase your fiber intake, which I see so many people eating low fiber diets, and it really can help to improve blood sugar levels and your mood. So making sure that you're getting enough fiber, I typically say like 30 grams, because what fiber does is it slows carbohydrate absorption and sugar absorption into the bloodstream. And so making sure that you're having things like leafy greens, fruit, nuts and seeds, even things like quinoa, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, all of those things are great sources of fiber. What a balanced meal looks like. 3/4 of your plate should be some sort of non-starchy vegetable, like you can see with this salad we've made. We've got cabbage, we've got jalapenos, we've got leafy greens, peppers, some sort of non-starchy vegetable. Then 1/8 of your plate should be protein. So we've got the beans and the nuts. 1/8 of your plate should also be some sort of healthy starch. So we've got carrots, beans, both great sources of starch. Then you should have 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of healthy fat. So we've got a great peanut dressing on here that works as our healthy fat along with the peanuts. Then when it comes to blood sugar management, there are some lifestyle things that you can do to help support your levels and to increase hormones like serotonin and dopamine, which are great for your mood. So first is going to be exercise. Exercise really supports insulin sensitivity, especially if you're doing exercise like resistance training, where you're lifting weights, doing Pilates, doing yoga, something where you're going to build lean muscle. From there, you really want to make sure that you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you don't, your blood sugar levels are going to rise to help you deal with, quote unquote, a stressor, because not sleeping is a stressor on your body. And that brings me to tip number 3, which is stress management. You definitely want to make sure that you're finding techniques and ways to manage your stress throughout the day. So whether that's yoga, meditation, breath work, being outside in nature, whatever that is for you, doing something to manage your stress, because when we're in times of stress, our blood sugar rises in order to deal with and manage the stress. So if we can stay in a calm and steady state, our blood sugar is so much more likely to be stable, and we're also in a place where we are more capable of losing weight if that is one of your goals. There are a few different supplements that I like to recommend to clients for helping with insulin control, improving blood sugar levels, and improving mood. First one is going to be BERBERINE. So BERBERINE actually has similar effects to the drug metformin, but it's just an herb. And what it does is that it helps to reduce insulin resistance, and it improves blood lipid levels. So things like your triglycerides and those bad cholesterols, BERBERINE is really helpful in improving that. The next one is called GYMNEMA SYLVESTRE. This is another herb that's really helpful in lowering blood sugar levels by making the cells actually use the sugar in the bloodstream. And then the third one is cinnamon. Cinnamon is a really great herb for regulating blood sugar levels. And then in terms of actual supplements that aren't herbs, chromium is a great one. There is a supplement by JS Health that has the chromium, the GYMNEMA SYLVESTRE, and the cinnamon in it. That's great for regulating blood sugar levels and helping improve insulin resistance. So if you are somebody, like I said, who is dealing with anxiety, depression, irritability, you wanna look at the way that you're fueling your body first. There are so many mental triggers that we can work on through therapy, through meditation, through self-work, but one of the biggest things that we have control over when it comes to our moods is eating in a way that controls and supports our blood sugar, and making sure that we're taking supplements and doing the lifestyle things. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you're struggling with your mental health, try some of these tips out, and I promise you, you will see a difference when you take control over the things that you have control over.